Today we're at one of our go-to places, which is Mission Trails Regional Park in lovely San Diego, California, where today we're going to be exploring the idea and the concept, also the practice of forgiveness from a higher perspective of love. So put on your packs. I'm Reverend Ken, your trail guide for today. Welcome to Trail Talks. Is like this locked gate behind me. We can go no further on our spiritual path until we open that gate with the love, the key of love, and forgive what we need to forgive. Only then will we be able to move forth past the gate and on to our greater spiritual destiny. Forgiveness is that smallest seed of love that can break forth the rock of a hardened heart and bring about a new expression rooted in love, compassion, and understanding, bringing forth and sprouting out new directions in love. When we're unable to forgive, our old hurts, our old grudges become like a stagnant pond, piling up until this pond grows and grows and grows. But with the smallest gesture, which is that smallest seed of love, the dam breaks. And that innate love that is already in us begins to move forward in us, through us, around us, spilling over into our relationships, our communities, and the world at large. The land forgave the water over time for carving into it, and now sits high and mighty, majestic, fully embracing the view that the water has helped create. This old oak tree provides a great example of how releasing old hurts, old wounds, old traumas can lead us to new life. This tree is constantly being carved into with names of persons, and yet this tree doesn't harbor a grudge. This tree is able to take these names, release the hurts, and begin to heal from it, eventually forgiving and bringing forth new branches of experience, of love, and of life. Because the tree doesn't let the names or the feelings or the raw emotions that are directed to it and at it define who it truly is. And that is a unique creation and expression of the Most High. When we forgive, we're enabled to move through the muck created by our own pride, which is born of our own ego, and move on to the firmer ground of truth and who we are, and who the other who we're trying to forgive is. And that is a unique and beloved creation of God. Because when we forgive, we truly create a bridge between the chasm of hate and allow ourselves to come onto the other side in greater love. So the disciples asked the Master, "How often should we forgive?" And the Master responded, "Forgive 70 times 7. 70 times 7. Kenai and her friends in the animal kingdom seem to inherently know this equation. That equation that states to forgive 70 times 7, on and on and on, letting love flow and leading into that master equation, to forgive, to live, forgive, to live. Oh. Well, it looks like we've come to the end of the trail for the moment. Hope you've enjoyed this walk along with Kenai and I, exploring this concept of forgiveness and release. You know, we talked about how forgiveness can be that seed of love, right, that can split a rock. We talked about forgiveness, how it can open up the gate to a greater love, to greater expression, to greater transformation. So you may be asking, wow, that's great, Reverend Ken, how do we forgive, the 70 times 7? What are some things we can take with us? Well, I'm glad you asked that, because my pack and all this walking around has gotten a little bit heavy. I don't know what's in here. I don't think I packed it that heavy, but oh, look at this. We got rocks in our pack. Well, this is a perfect illustration, actually. So, a lot of times in our life, we're carrying around these rocks, and if you think of these rocks as old hurts, old wounds, traumas, maybe grudges we have against another person, right? And they're weighing us down. We're carrying around this emotional baggage, and we're dragging it along, so to speak. Well, what we can do is we can take these rocks out of our pack. And not that we just want to jettison them, because guess what? There'll be more boulders behind us. But what we can do is, when we take these out, when we unpack these experiences or these feelings or these triggers that come up that weigh us down, what we can do is examine it. Some of these rocks, some of these experiences are rawer than others. They'll rough around the edges, maybe sharp, maybe they poke us from time to time. And that poking is those triggers. That's something to pay attention to. When somebody says something to you, or you get around a person or an experience, when you feel the hackles on your neck go up and your stomach gets in knots and your breathing starts increasing, those are triggers. Those are warning signs that say, hey, your pack is starting to get a little full here. So time to take this stuff out and experience it. So what we can do is take it into a time of reflection and be compassionate with yourself in this process. You might want to ask yourself, I'm experiencing these feelings. What experience with a person or a situation or anything like that, what could be causing these feelings coming up? What could be causing me to act out in a way that isn't consistent with the spiritual creation I am? And then what we do is we take these experiences, maybe we have to journal, maybe we have to go into counseling. And then what we can do is in prayer, we take it and say, you might have sucked, but I'm grateful for what you've taught me, and I realize the good that's come out of this. And I give thanks. And then we release it. But as Jesus said, we sometimes have to release it more than once. This isn't a one and done thing. So guess what? It might come back in a different form. Maybe this time it's a little bit smoother and a little bit smaller, but we know it's there because it's weighing us down. So again, we go through that process of examining, exploring the feelings behind it, exploring the experiences, healing it, and then releasing it. And we keep doing that with each experience, or with the same experience that keeps going around, holding it, not possessing it, not holding on to it, not keeping it in our pack, but just taking it out. And as a casual observer, just looking at it, feeling it. And then again, exploring what's behind it, the experience or the feeling that might be driving it, take it into prayer, and come out to where you can say, I can release it now. And with that, we find that we get rid of these rocks, these things, these hard beliefs, these hard feelings that weigh us down. We lighten our pack, and we're able to get through that narrow gate as Jesus describes it. So beloveds, thank you so much for joining us on the trail today and talking about this idea of forgiveness. And just keep forgiving. And we'll see you next week on the trail. I'm Reverend Ken. This is Trail Talks.